Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 8 o'clock a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. I hope that all of you are doing well out there and having a good day and a good morning. It's Friday the 27th. Word up. It's Friday the 27th of January. So this is a month that's gone by pretty fast. Before we know it, we're going to be in February, and there's a great amount of events that are planned here locally for February. But we're having a good day today. I'm in the studio with Gabriel. How are you, Gabriel?
I'm doing well. I can't believe that it's the end of January. Like, it just, it feels like a couple of days ago it was like the beginning, and now I'm like, oh, I'm at the end.
Right. Victoria Hyla Maldonado is here. Good morning, Victoria. Cindy Morales, good morning. Aisha Saxon, good morning. And Ali Dekane Lemako, good morning to you as well. Get to know you plus us, located on Stope Avenue. I forgot the address. It's right there by if these walls could talk.
Yeah,
right in the middle of the block.
Yeah, it's right next to them. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you need your skin to radiate with the radiance of something radiant, well, look no further than you plus us. Hope that you guys are all doing good today. We've got news for you. We've got the things that you like. We've got a whole lot of local stuff too to talk about as well. First Fridays is going to be returning very soon, and this is its 10th year, I think. First Fridays, the entire event package, if you will, is turning 10 years old. So shouts out to Marissa Amoni, the Downtown Aurora group, and everybody who's doing great work there on that front. Jennifer Ryan Mayton is here. Good morning, Jennifer Ryan Mayton. And Saul Olivas. Saul Olivas is a friend of the show. He's running for school board, I believe. So shouts out to Saul Olivas. And voting is April 4th, I think it is.
April 4th. And
okay.
I believe there is a primary election, and I could be wrong. Is that in February?
We got to find that out. Saul, is that in February? It's the only show on earth where the host is. If I don't know, I ask you. Saul, everyone, have a great Friday. Norma Peterson's here. Good morning to you as well. Okay. As a matter of fact, we got that thing, Gabriel. Go ahead and cue up something for the folks.
Saturday, March 11th from noon to 3 p.m. will be the chili cook-off happening at Java Plus, which is 1677 Montgomery Road. Competitors must complete an application plus a $20 fee for entry. For customers, there is a $5 fee, and that includes sampling all of the tasty submissions. All applications must be completed and submitted by March 1st. For more information and to receive an application, you can call 331-212-6665. Again, that number is 331-212-6665.
Thank you very much for that, Gabriel. Time is 8:03. It's in February. Primaries for Ward 6. Okay, good to know. So that was Gabriel's first time doing breaking news. Good job, young man. That sound is iconic here on the second largest city's first daily news podcast. So here, let's check this out. Got something to tell you guys about. Who is this? Our IG. Please check out Trill Mob's latest drop, Sad World. Okay, we'll get to that, no doubt. Check this out. Into the Woods. You guys are familiar with Into the Woods. You've been hearing about that. That's the Paramount's newest performance coming very soon. Into the Woods explores what happens when we get what we want. When Trent Stork was in high school, they played the role of the baker in a production of their favorite musical, Into the Woods. Meanwhile, Jim Cordy saw Into the Woods during its original Broadway run. Now the Jeff Award-winning pair get to co-direct the musical when the Paramount Theater presents Into the Woods, February 1st through March 19th here in Aurora. Mr. Stork is the associate artistic producer and casting director at the Paramount Theater, and Mr. Cordy is the theater's artistic director. Into the Woods is Stephen Sondheim and James Lapine's reimagining of the Grimm Brothers fairy tales. Performances are at 1:30 and 7 o'clock p.m. Wednesdays, 7 p.m., Thursdays, 8 p.m., Fridays, 3 and 8 p.m., Saturdays, and 1 and 5:30 p.m. on Sundays. There will be no 1:30 p.m. show on February 1st. Into the Woods is about the baker and his wife and their quest to collect items to break a spell cast by the witch. Characters like Little Red Riding Hood, Jack of Beanstalk fame, Cinderella, and Rapunzel hop up along the way. Y'all remember Rapunzel, right?
Yeah.
What's the story of Rapunzel?
So Rapunzel's the one who gets locked in a tower, and she's got like the really long hair.
Right,
so
there you go.
I was actually in Into the Woods twice. So
Oh, okay.
So I as a performer, so it's I know the story very well. It's a classic. If anyone is wanting to learn more and listen to a lot of like reimagined fairy tales, that's the way to go. Is the best.
Into the Woods is very much a metaphor about what makes us human. That's according to Mr. Cordy. It's taking something very familiar, which are fairy tales, into the Grimm fairy tales, which are darker. There are themes of wishing and getting your wish, and what happens if you get your wish. What if you get your want? Does it end up being what you thought it was going to be? These are all very adult, intellectual themes about human condition and human existence. He loves that Aurora audiences are discovering the vastness of musical theater. There's the light, fluffy stuff, the romantic stuff. Musicals can be about anything nowadays. Sondheim has such an intelligence, almost a Shakespearean-like wordplay. How do we get our audience to appreciate at this viewing when they see it, when they hear it? It's a challenge we are taking on with every aspect of our production. The time is 8:06. That sounds really cool. So Into the Woods, get ready for that. Once again, it's going to be February 1st through March 19th. Let me take a look and make sure I got that right for y'all. March 19th here in Aurora. February 1st through March 19th. So you said you were in it?
Yeah, so I was Into the Woods twice and in different productions, and it was a ton of fun. It was 1 year I was the Big Bad Wolf. And normally, yeah.
You're like 5'2".
I know.
I mean, you my man, but
I was a really short bad wolf, but it was actually when I was younger, so it was actually a bit shorter than 5'2".
Okay.
So
they're like, don't let the size of this wolf fool you. He is vicious. He is vicious.
Yes, they were. It was a running joke. I was the mean vicious wolf.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. I have not been familiar with seeing the production. I have read those fairy tales though, in different points in my childhood and youth and everything.
Yeah, so the fairy tales are nice and the stories are great, but when you come to Into the Woods, the original movie, as far as I can say, is 3 hours long. So it's a longer production. But what's really interesting about Into the Woods is that the first half, you have the typical storytell like ending, but then it pivots to like everyone gets like everything is just sad. Like the ending is the total antithesis to what you would expect from like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
So like the stepsisters get like towards the end, the stepsisters, like Cinderella stepsisters, they get their eyes like poked out by the birds, and like it's scary, yeah. And like I remember watching it when I was like 10, and it was really scary. So.
That's crazy. What happens if you get what you want? That's pretty interesting. I actually just kind of went through that. I've told different people in different times that, like, when I was young, all I wanted to do was like leave Harvey, Illinois. I wanted to like get out of there so bad. And I like accomplished it almost too good in a way, like almost too good. And it kind of it got a little bit deep, you know what I'm saying? Because like I went far away from where I came from, and recently had to go back in a not so good fashion. So when I look at it, like, what if you get what you want? What if you do? Anyway, the Aurora downtown announces the 2023 event lineup. We told you guys about this on Monday in a brief fashion. There's a lot of things like the food truck festival that's coming back.
Oh, they come. That's really good. The food's always amazing.
So let me peep this for you guys. Aurora Downtown announced the schedule of events for the year. First Friday starts the 10th year next month. The monthly art and cultural offering began in September 2013, held for 10 months out of the year, and First Fridays runs from February through December. Where's the second page of this?
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, what?
Sure.
Oh, here it is. What kind of? See that? Scratch it up. So you gotta keep it all together, bruh. All right. First Fridays has become an institution in downtown Aurora, with more than 30 businesses regularly participating in the open house style event that features art, live music, and activities for all ages. In March, First Fridays will present the theme "Women in the Front," which, according to Marissa Amoni, she says, will pay homage to women who stand up, take charge, and inspire us. May's First Fridays will bring the large food truck festival to Benton Street. Then the food truck court will open in June at Water Street Square with a handful of food vendors across from City Hall. The food court joins First Fridays in June and then returns from September through December. Now there's another special event that I think takes place as well at Society 57. That's after the food truck festival. It's like in August or something. Okay. What is that?
Let me check.
Okay. While you're checking, so Aurora Downtown will also host Art and Market on 3 Saturdays at Society 57, 100 South River Street. The indoor market will feature more than 24 local makers from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on February 25th, March 25th, and April 22nd. Also in April is Egg Hunt on the Island. That's where you go around and let the kids run around and find poultry out there. Eggs are expensive nowadays, you know what I'm saying? So I know y'all better... Hey, any kids that find the eggs, they're probably taking them home. Like, Mom, got some eggs. Like, make sure you bring some. Okay. Right. So Egg Hunt on the Island, yes. And that's going to be from 1 to 3 p.m. And also feature Bunny at the gazebo. So you can have a chance to meet the Easter Bunny and receive a free photo download. All right. Gabriel, if you could be so kind, take us to a commercial. Give us like 3 good pieces of news, young man, and then we'll come back for these wonderful folks. The time is 8:12 a.m.
Starting on Thursday, January 26th, the Making Meaning of Service bi-weekly virtual course will be held from 4 to 5:30 p.m., sponsored by our friends of the Road Home program, the National Center of Excellence for Veterans and their families. Classes include moral injury, changing perspectives, forgiveness, and becoming a wounded healer. The Road Home program does much for our veterans. To learn more about who they are and what they do, you can visit their website here, and we'll be posting the link in the chat. And Sunday, January 29th, Rachel's Decorations will present a great event at La Sierra of Aurora. That's 2121 East New York Street from 1 to 5 p.m. This expo will feature raffles, prizes, and much more. For more information, call 630-707-9299. This event is free and open to the public. Rachel's Decorations is a fantastic woman-owned local business here in Aurora. And the Aurora Area Chamber of Commerce lead her series. To learn more about that, we'll also be posting the link in the chat. That is starting pretty soon.
Keep going.
Oh.
Yeah. Was that the end of it?
Yeah, that was the end of it.
Oh, can you mention the because that deadline is also coming up. Can you please mention, last piece of news here, the mortgage relief for families should be ILHAF from the Neighbor Project, and the application for that. Giving up to $60,000 for folks. Let me know if you find it.
Yeah, the court-based rental assistance is still available for those in a court eviction proceeding due to non-payment. The non-payment is conditioned on financial hardship due to the pandemic. Eligible applicants may apply or may qualify for up to $25,000 in emergency rental payments. This program is open to anyone in the state and is not conditioned by county. The deadline for applications is June 2023. For more information, scan the QR code on the flyer that I believe we posted or call 630-906-9400 with any questions.
That's right. All right. The time is 8:15 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Alejandra Mascote, good morning. Michael Rayford, good morning. Josue Pais, good morning to you as well. Good morning to all of you fantastic and wonderful, dear people. An article I read last night. Wanted to show you, let you guys hear about this too. Aurora looks at awarding more than $1 million in quality of life grants and $2.3 million in block grant funds. The City Council Committee recently recommended more than $1 million in quality of life grants to social service agencies in the city, and also recommended about $2.3 million in community development block grant funding, better known as CDBG funding. The quality of life grants recommended by the council members on the Public Health, Safety, and Transportation Committee. They're largely funded by gambling taxes from Hollywood Casino Aurora. No small measure, as the question of said casinos' payment into the social fabric was always in question, given the amount of money casinos make. All city council members will get to review the quality of life grants at the committee of the whole meeting next week. The quality of life grants are more than $100,000 higher than the total awarded last year. They're given to organizations that provide for Aurora citizens in the areas of basic needs, community, education and youth, mental health, museums, and services for seniors. Not mental health museums, mental health museums and services for seniors. As I do this now, I'm way more hype at people's grammar and punctuation. Like, yo, some of these writers.
Yeah.
Anyway, in total, 41 out of 50 grant requests would receive some kind of funding totaling $1.5 million. That was whittled down from about a total of $1.75 million requested. The largest number of grants proposed to be awarded by category is 17 in the area of education and youth programs. There are 7 in community development programs, 5 covering basic needs, 4 each in the area of mental health and senior services, and 2 museum grants recommended for approval. Gabriel, what do you think about that?
I think that's awesome. I know a lot of not-for-profits especially benefit from these grants. I know personally, like my work, the Alive Center, they're not-for-profit, and so these types of grants really do benefit them, and it is really, really important for these types of grants for museums, even for businesses, because I know especially coming out of the COVID and kind of those lockdowns, especially for the downtown Aurora business community, was really nice to have some of these grants available to them, because a lot of them were not making enough money to run just based off of how many people were coming into downtown Aurora.
Right.
And especially in 2021, there were very few people who would, come in here and, spend a day or something, spend a Saturday. Again, there was very few people who were doing that. So these types of grants were really nice then, and they're still really nice now.
I think, I think that they're helpful. I really do. And it does make myself and the listeners, many of whom are business owners themselves in this chat, but it is good to see that there is that, not a safety net, but there is the way for a city to be flexible, to find funds to help people out or help out businesses and things like that. I know that the process for grants for many organizations, staffing a grant writer is in itself a task. There are many organizations who need a grant writer. They need help with that process. So, there's that.
Yeah. I think that's something that most not-for-profits do, or if they don't, somebody's doing that at least part-time besides all their other responsibilities.
Right.
Because that's essential. But the one thing about grants is that some of them, the application process and the restrictions that apply to the money that you receive based off of the grant, in some cases are just too restrictive. So,
well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm glad you brought that up. According to Chris Ragona, the city's community development manager, a committee looks at, quote, many factors, close quote, when considering awarding the grants, including the ability to serve Aurora residents, past performance by the organization, and whether the organization is considered in good standing. So there's checks and balances in there,
definitely.
As there should be.
Oh, yeah.
When giving away sums of money. City council members on the committee also recommended about $2.3 million in CDBG funding, money the city receives from the federal government. According to Mr. Ragona, the city gets about $1.5 million each year, but had some left over for a total of about $2.3 million to be distributed. So it breaks down like this. The amount and categories listed for the proposed CDBG grant awards are $390,000 for administration and contingency, $663,750 for community amenities, $435,000 for housing projects, $500,000 for neighborhood revitalization, and $306,215 for public service projects. The about $2.3 million in grants recommended to be awarded was out of about $2.6 million of requests. Wow. Neighborhood projects awarded funding must serve at least 51% low or moderate income persons. I like that.
Yeah, I think
like
that's really important.
I like that.
There's a lot of people like here in Aurora and everywhere else, but I know in Aurora that they really do suffer from there's food insecurity, there's housing insecurity, and I personally worked with a lot of the food pantries, and the numbers aren't going down.
No, they're not. But when numbers are going down, the temperature. It's getting colder out there, right?
Yeah.
That's a serious concern for the people who are unhoused. Yeah, it is. It's hard, man, when it's like, we sit here, we tell people about 211, right?
Yeah.
We tell people about Kane County 211. We tell them about the Office of State Rep Barbara Hernandez. You can get your health care.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we tell them about all this. And yet the battle goes on, man. Right?
Yeah,
it's like the human condition. That's the thing. It's like as a city gets big and it grows, man, these problems multiply. The price of food, the price of gas, the price of your energy in your home, all that. And it's like some people just can't keep up, man. And it's like I wish there was a magic wand.
Yeah, right. Like, wouldn't it be great if you could just be like, okay, everyone who's housing insecure, here's a house or a solution. That'd be amazing. Because I've met so many people like here in Aurora and across the state everywhere that are that struggle with finding affordable housing, with finding even affordable food. I know there are families that the decision between personal hygiene products and food is like they have to choose. Yep. Do I get food? Do I get soap or whatever have you? Like And that's the thing where a lot of programs don't cover simple things like hygiene products.
You know what? That just reminded me.
Oh.
Were you done? My bad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tripping. I just thought of something terrible that I just saw. You know that in Iowa, I believe it's Iowa, there's a bill right now. The Republican Party of the state is drafting a bill to make the food that's available for mothers, like what's the name of the program? SNAP. Yeah, SNAP. The food that's listed on SNAP, they want to replace the food on like WIC with the SNAP food.
Oh.
That's like baby crack, right? It's just minuscule. It's not really food.
Yeah.
Think about that. Oh. They want to take away the other food items you can get and restrict it to what's on the SNAP menu. So if you can't live off for a productive, healthy food disposition.
Oh, yeah.
If you couldn't live off what's already on the WIC model, how are you going to live off what's on the SNAP? It's designed for women with children. It's not designed to feed a family.
Yeah, that's really, really unfortunate.
That's demented. It's demented. It's not unfortunate. It's demented. Yeah. Who thinks like that?
Yeah.
Who thinks, let's take away the bread and butter and give them Gerber graduates? Who thinks like that?
I don't know.
Take me to a commercial. Who thinks like that? And it's a family show. It's 8:25 a.m. Who thinks like that though, man? And all of you beautiful people out there, think about that. Isn't that just terrible? I'm gonna find it in the time. Here, Gabriel, you take us to a commercial. Yeah, take us to a commercial while I find that article.
So Thursday, February 9th from 5 to 6:30 p.m., join our friend Anthony Ortiz at Dream Hall in Elgin. For a fun meet and greet, Anthony Ortiz is a candidate for Elgin City Council and a USMC veteran. For more information, please email Anthony at anthonyforelgin.com. Our housing counseling team has great workshops for February, also Black History Month, which will be of benefit to the whole community. The Black Wealth Empowerment Series is a partnership between the Neighbor Project and Everlasting Word Church. 3 of the workshops will be virtual, with the third celebration in person at the Prisco Community Center. These events are sponsored by BMO Harris and Citibank. February 2nd will be Understanding Money. February 9th will be Getting Your Credit Swagger. And February 16th will be Roadmap to Homeownership. Use the links posted and share to register for the online events, and please share. For questions or more information, call 331-300-3566. Again, that number is 331-300-3566.
All right. Thank you very much. So Johnny Felix, thank you very much for your kind words, Johnny Felix. Keep the talento going. It is no surprise for many who do know. I went through I'm still going through a very tough time right now. I appreciate everybody's nice, kind words, especially you, Johnny Felix, man. Thank you very much, man. Keep the talento going. This is my first week back on the bike, man. As I using that metaphor, I had to get back on the bicycle and pick it up. Pastor Jose Torres, get to know Fresh Start City Church. Good to see you, sir. Many people have the passion to help, but don't have the ability to know how to apply for the grants. That's going back to the conversation that we talked about, CDBG grant funding. And many different quality of life grants that the city of Aurora has given out recently. Just voted on, actually. Tracy Duran, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Right back at you. Amen. Michael Ray for Sebedap, Maria Chirito, David Cannon, and Jennifer Ryan Mayton. Love all y'all. It's 8:28 a.m. Okay, here's the thing. I got the article. Yeah, you can bring a brother back, dog. You can bring me back. Gabriel getting good with that camera. Y'all bring me back. Bring it back. So I had a couple things wrong about the article, but let's talk about it. All right. So Iowa Republicans propose a bill that would drastically limit what food SNAP recipients. Okay. I had it wrong with the WIC. Not WIC. Okay. SNAP. That was the cleavage. So here it is. And this comes from Business Insider. People wouldn't be able to buy grocery staples like white bread, American cheese, fresh meat, and even more. Iowa Republicans are proposing sweeping changes to the SNAP program, banning beneficiaries from buying those staples. The bill, co-sponsored by 39 state legislators. Scratch it up. Come on, Gabriel, you got to get better with them scratches, man. Gotta be quicker. Yeah. Listen, 39 state legislators? 39 people all working on one thing. Taking away cheese and meat from people? I don't know about nobody else. But if I had 38 other people to plot something with, I could come up with, I could plan, think of what you could plan with 38 other people.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it right now. I know with...
think of the hard work, right?
Yeah.
To end up taking cheese? Anyway. It would, so let me start. So the bill co-sponsored by 39 Republican state legislators would limit those getting SNAP benefits to buying food on a more restrictive list from a separate program intended for pregnant women and children. SNAP recipients wouldn't be able to buy not only white bread, cheese, and meat, buns with nuts and seeds, white rice, pasta sauce, canned fruits and soups, baked beans, cheese slices, butter, or flour. What kind of human? They would instead be limited to foods approved on the WIC program. Okay? Scratch it up again. That's where I had it wrong. It wasn't, right? I had it flipped.
Yeah.
I had it flipped. So the foods people can purchase in the WIC program are much more restrictive than those allowed in SNAP. That's because WIC is designed to complement SNAP, and it's meant to provide necessary nutrition specifically for, as the name suggests, pregnant women, new mothers, and infants. And that's according to Michelle Book, the president and CEO of Food Bank of Iowa. So the lady who runs the food bank is telling y'all what kind of humans?
Yeah.
What kind of world? What does it say?
I think it's a really...
Who's voting for that?
Yeah. I don't get that because I personally volunteered at like food pantries, and even people who are on like government benefits like WIC or SNAP, even then some of them still need to come to food pantries, and a lot of the times the food at food pantries, we don't really control what we receive as far as donations come. So at a food pantry, one week there may be a lot of beans, or the next week there may be a lot of pork,
right,
or sausage, or whatever it is. Like there's never most of the time it's not consistent on what product we get. There'll be certain types, but it's not a lot of consistency as far as that. And for the diet, it's really important to have a consistency. So when it comes to like, government programs like SNAP or WIC, I think it's important for people to know that a lot of families, struggle to even get the basics with the money that they're allotted for SNAP or WIC. So
WIC is not designed for people that rely on SNAP benefits to make ends meet. She said the proposed changes would put, quote, an additional burden on people that are food insecure, close quote, and are part of an ongoing push by state legislators to cut back on benefits. Year after year, the legislature wants to tear down SNAP benefits for the state of Iowa, so this isn't new to us. But she said the bill is one of the most egregious attempts we've seen over the last many years. The Des Moines Area Religious Council and Interfaith Organization also slammed the bill as, quote, punitive policy that will do nothing to improve the health and nutrition of Iowans, but rather be a detriment, close quote. The bill will provide $1 million for the state's Double Up Food Bucks program, but will reduce the number of people who qualify for SNAP benefits and also force those who are part of the state's Medicaid expansion to work at least 20 hours a week. What type of Soviet Union is that? The legislator said the money spent on SNAP could be used more efficiently elsewhere. It's these according to Pat Grassley, co-sponsor of the bill and the House Speaker in Iowa, quote, it's these entitlement programs. They're the ones that are growing within the budget and are putting pressure on us being able to fund other priorities. So we'll get 39 people to come up with ways to make sure people can't eat food on this program, and they can only eat food on a program for pregnant women and children. That is, that is just,
yeah,
just when you thought you heard it all.
Yeah, I think it's a really hard situation because I know that as far as funding goes for some things, they can have some of these programs do take up a lot of money, like for example Social Security or Medicare. They are fairly expensive programs to run as just a government program. They are pretty expensive. But I think to call them entitlement programs, I think is really unfair to the people that do receive the benefits, because I know there's a lot of people who are lower income, and so maybe they have one parent who's able to work, or it's a one parent household, and a lot of people don't know what that looks like for that family. So I think a lot of the time it's really unfortunate that they are trying to get rid of a lot of these programs, because most people are really trying to better themselves. I mean, right. Almost everyone receiving these benefits are trying to get to the point where they don't have to receive them. And I personally talked with and work with a lot of people who do receive them, and they're not feeling like they're entitled. They just need the help. So if they can get it and get it on a regular basis, the consistency is key. So
time is 8:36.
That's the need.
So there's also news here about Habitat for Humanity's subdivision on the city's far west side. Before we get into that, though, I want to tell you guys about the Triumph program at Waubonsie Community College. So they have a great lineup of events that are coming up for February. This flyer was given to us. Right here in front of the camera, I can do it. This flyer was given to us, so I have all the adjoining links for the events, which we will post on our Facebook page. But Tuesday, February 7th will be a wellness drive. Wednesday, February 8th will be a Money Matters event. Tuesday, February 4th will be an engagement fair. There's another luncheon meeting for me. For the mentors. My bad. Scratch it up. Yeah. Because this is the copy this is the internal copy. My bad. But Thursday, February 16th, we are looking to take our mentees on a conference. The location of the conference is TBD at the moment. There's two conferences that are taking place. One is it's called USHLI, USHLI. I think it's the United States Hispanic Latino Alliance. Maybe that's something like that. That one's in Chicago. And then there's another one that's in Springfield, and that's like the Black and Latin X or Latino Summit or something like that. Mm-hmm. One of those two we will be taking our students to, our mentees to, and getting them out there. And it'll be a good networking event for us mentors, but for the mentees, they'll get to meet other like-minded kids from everywhere else on earth and see some leadership in action. So shouts out. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good event. The thing about the Triumph program too that's really cool is and this is what it's all about, right? It was created for young men of color who may need that extra help and guidance. But like, it's a lot of other, Brett's not black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's for everybody, man. If you trying to take part, if you want to better yourself, if you want to learn something, the doors are open to everybody. And I like programs like that. So it's a really good thing. Shout out to Yasmin and our dear friends over there at the Triumph Mentoring Program. Take me to a commercial, please, Gabriel. Please, if you would be so kind. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to know how much you mean to me here on the second largest city's first daily news podcast. So I'm going to do, actually, you'll have to get up and grab them. You see where that Narcan is over there by the Judge Renee Cruz thing? Right on top of that news thing is some Java Plus coffee tickets. Can you get me those, please? Should be a good stack of them. I think I got them here. Yeah. How many we got? Count those up.
Got one.
We got about 10.
Yeah, I'd say about 10.
All right. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna give some coffee. We're gonna give some coffee cards out to folks at random. Some of you great listeners, I'm actually gonna shout you guys out right now, and then I'm gonna have Gabriel follow up with you guys. We've got 3 of these that we're gonna give away now. Let me see here. I'm gonna have Gabriel give these out to some folks. He will keep these and he will follow up with you. You can send us a message, or he'll send you a message and reach out to you and let you know when you can come by and get your coffee on us. This card gets you a free 16-ounce house coffee or hot tea at Java Plus, a fantastic place, 1677 Montgomery Road. So the first one I would like to give out will be to Michael Rayford. So you will follow up with Michael Rayford. And then the second one to give out, we will give out to our dear friend Jennifer Ryan Mayton. So Jennifer Ryan Mayton is in the chat as well. You can reach out to Jennifer Ryan Mayton. And I think the last one that we'll give out, we got anybody new? Who out there is new? Jose's new. You know what? Give one to Mr. Jose Milagro Torres, So those are 3 that we'll give out right now. 8:41 is the time. Joe Jackson, what other priorities are more important than the absolute most basic needs of life? Absolutely. Jose says they think by minimizing the help, it would get people out to work. Right. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? And I believe that Gabriel's reaching out to you guys, so stay tuned for that. I believe that as a society, as a people, as a city, and especially as a community, there are certain things that should just be off the table. Now, I know what you're thinking. That doesn't sound like a good quality for a leader. Everything should be on the table. I don't work like that. I don't roll like that. I don't think like that. I don't think like that. I'm not the kind of person who believes that the corners that we need to cut to save the ship can come from the human department. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm really not. I'd rather throw over all the ammunition off the boat to save it from sinking than start tossing out the weak and the infirm, the people who can't feed themselves. I'm not that kind of guy, man. And I really do believe that the mere fact that there are people who, because if you, mind you, this wasn't talking about, they weren't talking about Bubba and Ezekiel on the farm. These are state legislators, right? Yeah. That requires education, right? Mm-hmm. This is the cream of the population, right? That's why people become state reps and senators and congressmen, right? We're not talking about the dreg. We're not talking about the dudes hanging out behind no. We're talking about people with college degrees trying to make sure that people who don't have college degrees can't eat. Sad, dog. That's really sad. Anyway, I was going to tell you about Habitat for Humanity. I was going to give you some good news. I know what you guys are thinking. Damn, this show is... Good Morning Aurora's little... No, man, we're keeping it real today. We're keeping it real today. And I'm actually really upset. And I'm in an emotionally turbulent place still. And then kind of hypersensitive at the moment. Okay. So the Aurora City Council just this week approved a preliminary plan for Habitat for Humanity to build a 17-house subdivision on Aurora's far west side. This is probably, dare I say, my words, not yours. This is probably the best news I've seen in the realm of housing in a while. We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
The Habitat Green subdivision at 1921 Jericho Road would feature 1,700 square foot houses. The homes would be heated with natural gas, but have solar applications that should make the houses cost neutral for energy. That's according to Habitat for Humanity officials. The Habitat for Humanity development would be next door to a longtime subdivision that is in an unincorporated part of Aurora Township, on property originally annexed to Aurora in 2004 to be a church and daycare facility. Let's do that again. The Habitat for Humanity development would be next door to a longtime subdivision in an unincorporated part of Aurora Township on property originally annexed to the city in 2004 to be a church and daycare facility. That's important. The church decided not to build on the property, and it has been vacant since being annexed in 2004.
Oh, is it been empty since then?
2004.
Oh,
And this, ladies, this is from the Beacon. Habitat officials said it's estimated the houses will be valued at about $325,000, but would cost prospective homeowners at least 30% less because Habitat for Humanity is not only the developer, but the mortgage holder too. The funding for the development is coming from a grant from NICOR, as well as a federal housing and urban development grant Habitat obtained with the help of the United States Rep. Bill Foster of Naperville. Now, scratch it up. Now, you know, we interviewed Bill Foster. You know that.
yeah,
You know that,
I remember that.
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah. I think we did it 3 times now, you know.
Yeah.
All right. We've been to a couple of events. So it was with zeal. The word of the day is zeal.
Zeal.
The word of the day is zeal. So hook up the people with that. It was with zeal that I listened to Bill Foster detail with alacrity, not the word of the day, how he had a plan with steps to help people in his capacity in the realm of housing. That matters, because the more we can build the appropriate avenues to lift people out long term of poverty and into a more stable situation, that helps. As necessary as it is for temporary shelter, for emergency shelter, what is just as paramount is the ability to create and maintain and have affordable housing. That kind of funding allows Habitat to offer 0% interest mortgages. And as always the case, homeowners in Habitat properties do, quote, sweat equity, close quote, working on other homes the not-for-profit organization builds. Now, isn't that crazy? Now, they say sweat
awesome.
equity. You help out with other non-for-profit homes. You help out with other homes for other people. Now, what was they doing in Iowa? They was taking away meat and cheese and hoping that you work 20 hours a week, right? You see the difference?
Yeah, that's why I love seeing the partnerships between not-for-profits and government organizations, because I feel that if there were some, members of the not-for-profit community, especially people who lead food pantries, like the lady who was quoted in that news article that we read, I feel like that if there was more of a dialogue and conversation between them, it would be definitely a lot more beneficial when it comes to creating legislation such as the one that they're proposing.
Right. The houses would have 3 bedrooms and 2-car garages, according to the plans. Habitat already has 6 families interested in houses in the new development. The organization wants to break ground for the subdivision in the spring. Let me tell you this. Good Morning Aurora will be there unless they, unless they just got it for the, right? Oh, you got to have a blah, blah, blah. Which I got to check the status of my application. Because, we getting the credentials, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know that. You know that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Be right there with Oprah. Hey, how you doing, Oprah? Okay. The time is 8:49 a.m. Thank you for putting that in there. Jennifer Imain says, woohoo, hot tea sounds fantastic. Thank you. Not a problem at all. Glory Gerardo is here. Good morning to you, Aurora. I hope you have a nice day today and weekend and have a blessed day today. Amen. We appreciate that very, very much, Gloria. All right. Now, the next thing I had to tell you guys about was, here are these. Now, Jennifer Imain is the person who gave us the panels for the FEC. So I think you still have her information, or you guys had a conversation going.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so I still have their conversation, and after today's episode, I'll be reaching out to the people that we are giving the cards to.
Good. All right, cool. All right. Now, here's the next couple of things to tell you guys about. This is still all within the bailiwick of Aurora downtown interest. There's a lot of news coming out of downtown Aurora, so I'm happy to, you know what? I remember when doing it. This show will be 3 years old this year. Yeah. I remember when it wasn't this much.
Yeah,
I remember when it wasn't. Yeah. I remember when it wasn't. I remember this was real quick. Like, yeah, we got this, that, and the other. Okay. In the fall, Sugar Skull City will return on October 15th with a butterfly theme to celebrate Day of the Dead. A series of events will be held in conjunction with Sugar Skull City, which will run through November 5th. One of the group's year-round events is Boss Babes. That was started by Marissa Amoni and Wickwood House owner Shannon Gutierrez. The event is now held monthly from 4:30 to 6 p.m. on the third Thursday at Wickwood House. They incorporate a couple of field trips into the lineup, and this year Boss Babes will be visiting Fox Valley Mall in March and Homestead 1854 in August. Summer events will include downtown Saturdays promotions at downtown businesses, Wednesdays at the Plaza concerts, outdoor movies at the venue, and much more. Faithful Cocoa Crawl patrons will want to note that the event returns this year on December 1st. Mugs and buttons will go on sale in November of this year, and a mug and buttons need to participate. All right. Well, that is the main part of the news today. The time is 8:52. Next week, we've got a lot of stuff happening next week. Actually, I'm going to do something that we've never typically done. We've never typically given a preview of who we've got coming onto the show, but I'm going to detail a couple of our upcoming events for you. We do have Matthew Orr booked coming up soon. He'll be here in February, so next couple of weeks. Matthew Orr is running for 6th Ward Alderman. He'll be coming on the show. We'll be getting to talk to him and see what his plans are for 6th Ward and 6th Ward residents. Pastor Jose Torres returns next week on Tuesday on Buenos Dias, Aurora. That'll be his first episode in Spanish. The Quad County Urban League returns on Wednesday, February 1st. And then Thomas Hartman returns on Friday. Or he doesn't return, excuse me. It's his first time coming on the show. That'll be Friday, February 3rd. If you can hear the sound of my voice, I would really appreciate if you guys tune in Friday, February 3rd. Thomas Hartman is a gentleman who I was just recently introduced to and made aware of. He teaches young people piano. He's trying to get like a piano league. This is a conversation that we just had recently, and I do admit I was kind of sad talking to him, so my mind was elsewhere. But he runs a program where he wants to get young people involved in like piano. So he's got like I think it's like a traveling piano troupe.
Oh,
something
really?
like that. Yeah, and he's going to be performing at Java Plus. Thomas Hartman is his name, and he's a piano teacher too. So I really want to shout him out because when talking to him, I was kind of I remember thinking to myself like, wow, the man spends his days trying to teach piano to young kids. Like that's a really awesome profession, you know.
Yes.
So he needs some love, and he really wants to find some more kids to teach piano to. So Thomas Hartman, it'll be February 3rd, which is on Friday of next week coming up. We will be a combination of here and at our satellite location, which is 712 South River Street, the Aurora FEC Center. We'll be back in both and doing a whole lot of other cool stuff. Also, we're going to be out in the community more. We're going to be doing some more restaurants coming up pretty soon here. If you guys are familiar with Basil's Fine Dining, Basil's on Wednesdays has half off bottles of wine, and they've got great food over there. We did interview Chef Chrysanthekis, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He was a great, awesome guy. It was the early days of of Good Morning Aurora. So we're going to go back, check out some Greek cuisine, and show you guys a little something else, man. Gabriel, did we forget anything? Is there anything we forgot? Is there anything? I mean, time's 8:55. I might snap before we get out of here. But I mean, did we forget anything?
I feel that we covered a lot of what we were aiming to today. We talked about Downtown Aurora. We talked about some upcoming episodes.
We did.
We talked about some good food.
We did. We told the people about Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah. We talked about the upcoming legislation in Iowa.
Right. Which was not part of it. That was just that was just me. Right?
See.
That was just me venting. You put the definition for zeal in there. Michael Rayford. Yes, you did send me the flyers, Michael Rayford. Thank you very much. OD is here. Good morning to you, Mr. O'Dwyer. OD is a friend of Brett's. He tunes into Putting in the Work, our show that we do with Brett. And thank you for tuning in, man. Good morning to you, brother. Good morning. Johnny or Jose says, I will. It's a passion. I will announce it to the church to see if any kids want to join the piano lessons. Awesome. Yes. Again, it's going to be Friday, February 3rd. Please tune in, man. I really want to give this gentleman, his name is Thomas Hartman. I really want to give this gentleman the most receptive ear we can locally. I've always been a fan of teaching young people new and dynamic things. Piano playing is a skill.
Yeah.
Truly a skill. And it would make my heart smile if some young kid from, I don't know, from the east side or the west side somewhere became the next Beethoven.
That'd be amazing.
He did play piano, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I believe Beethoven and
Okay.
Mozart both play piano,
Right.
but they're also very well known for their composing. So
Right.
they not only played, but they also composed. So there's, I think, even some, and I could be wrong about this. So I know Tracy Duran's probably out there looking it up, but so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they composed some operas, if I remember right, or like stage performances, and I could be wrong though.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is before YouTube, so we can't really YouTube what they used to do. Actually, this is where hit us with that thing called breaking news, baby. Mike, I do apologize. I'm behind on so many things with so many people, but our last thing that we'll tell you about, good piece of news, our dear friend Michael Rayford will be presenting the next installment with guest speakers of How Money Works educational series. This will be Tuesday, January 31st from 6:45 to 8:15 p.m. The webinar starts at 7:15. Drinks, appetizers, and hors d'oeuvres will be provided. The location for this is going to be 1 Trans Am Plaza Drive, Suite 500, and that's in Oak Brook Terrace, 60181. Guest speakers are Clay Kroom of Cambridge Corebridge Financial and Austin Imhoff of Annexus. The topic will be creating a personal pension and protecting your wealth. Registration is required. It's online. I have the QR code and the flyer here. I will make a post about this shortly. Here's what I want you to do. I want all of you to have the most enlightened, the most inspired, the safest, and the most resplendent weekend that you can. Monday is going to be a very great day. It's going to be a good weekend, and I hope that all of you great people were able to learn something and take something out of today's conversation. Get to know the people in your neighborhood and your community. If you have the ability to donate to the Aurora Food Pantry, Marie Wilkinson's Food Pantry, Hesed House, if you have the opportunity to volunteer your time with World Relief or perhaps the Neighbor Project, if you are so inclined to hit the donate button and send some bucks to Family Counseling Service or Family Focus, your help and support goes a long way to making and building the kind of city, community, and world that we want to live in. Take care of yourself and each other.